Guess who's back again. It's your boy from the One Piece Club. We're back. And One Piece 1173 wastes zero time, right? The demon party is advancing and they're screaming, kill Yarul. And I'm sitting here, right, thinking, I said to myself, why are we targeting the 300-year-old legend with a sword stuck in his head? Then it clicked. Yarul declared war. And not just war, ideological war. See, when I was reading the Viz, it literally called him the strongest man on these seas 300 years ago. And that matters, right? That is what I took from it. Because history matters in One Piece. The past always comes back around, right? This chapter was simple but effective, so we're going to have to actually talk about a few characters. But I want to focus on Zoro in this chapter, okay? Now, let's pivot to Zoro. See, Zoro in this chapter says he has a plan. And whenever Zoro says he has a plan, I lower my expectations immediately, right? Because 9 times out of 10, right? 9 times out of 10, the plan is blade. And guess what? Guess what? The plan included a blade, but not recklessly. He used elevation, he leaped off giants, he gained the higher ground. Then he unveils crossing of the 6 paths. Bruh, secret technique, my people. Secret technique announced publicly. And to me, this is classic Zoro, right? But here's the most important part. He manipulates, if you actually didn't catch this, he manipulates positioning. He forces Dory and Brogy into clashing trajectories, right? He makes them damage each other. That was battle awareness. Catching on to what the Dormi Reversi effect was and then actually strategically coming up with something. It was effective combat IQ. And in chaos, being effective is greater than being flashy, right? Then we move on to the emotional bomb of the chapter. Now, here's where everything starts to escalate emotionally. Brook sees Gunko, right? Something clicks and calls her Princess Shy or Princess She, right? He says that Gunko, right, should be 80 years by now. She has the same eyes, the same hair, the same presence. Then he drops it. Gunko killed the man I owe everything to. Patricidal princess, a father killer. That line changed everything because now we have questions, right? Was she controlled, right? Was this another Loki situation, forced to kill her father for the greater good? Is that what happened? Or is this something much, much worse, right? Did Imu possess her to dismantle a kingdom from within? And then we see it. Her memories start returning. She tells Brook to run, right? Which means something massive is about to happen. Now, Imu does not have absolute control of Gunko. There's still some cracks. And Imu regains that control quickly, but that split second matters, right? That means emotional triggers disrupt possession, right? And that is a weakness. And in the final saga storytelling, you don't show cracks in the final villain, right? Unless you plan to widen them later on. Brook isn't joking here, my people, right? Soul King Brook ain't playing. He's angry. Whole Cake Island MVP Brook is resurfacing. An emotionally driven Brook is dangerous, right? Because I feel we still have a few things we got to learn about Brook. Yes, the flashback, of course, but his powers. I know he has even more deeper secrets in his powers that he hasn't revealed yet, which I'm looking forward to, right? Now, 1174 shifts tones completely, right? The ship is destroyed. The kids are about to fall, right? They're almost kaput. Their parents can't reach them, right? And Sommers, well, as we all know, King Sommers or Sommers, Saint Sommers is loving this. He's loving this not metaphorically, literally. He is enjoying every piece, every play, every child that's actually going into deeper demise, right? He announces it theatrically so the fear sets in. He wants the panic. He wants the despair. He wants the parents to sit there, watch in absolute despair what is actually happening to their kids, knowing there's nothing they can do. That is villain commitment. And what makes Saint Sommers interesting isn't just that he's evil, right? It's that he's self-aware about it too. Very self-aware. He doesn't pretend he's righteous. As soon as he realizes he can blame the failure of a mission on somebody else, oh, he's doing it, right? He doesn't just pretend it's justice. He enjoys suffering. That is raw sadism. And Oda leans into it hard in this chapter, right? Then Oda flips the emotional axis. Parents rush forward, right? They get impaled by thorns, of course, right? Sommers' powers. And then they bleed. They scream. And they still hug their children, right? Now, Ripley holds onto Colon and accepts death, right? Johanna wishes she had her parents like that, right? She wishes her parents were just like that. that. And even Road redeems himself, right? Our first sun god redeems himself by saving Bjorn. And that is when it clicks. That is when it clicks for me. This chapter's title is The Strongest in the World, right? The Strongest in the World. It wasn't about Loki. Let's put that out there. It wasn't about Luffy, right? In my opinion, it was about the parents. Oda once said that moms are the strongest in One Piece. And this chapter proves that, right? See, strength isn't always about destructive power. Sometimes it's endurance. Sometimes, I gotta be honest with you, it's sacrifice. Sometimes it is choosing to die with your child rather than watching them die alone. That contrast against Sommers is cruelty, right? And to me, this is elite writing by Oda. Then, right, to make this chapter even better, the myth layer activates. Thunder falls, snow falls, right? And then we have Yarl recall the prophecy, right? Which is also in the Haley text. He says, when thunder and snow both flurry, a giant beast shall blot out the sky. And then the drums of liberation shall sound. Then we see it. Luffy in giant form. Behind him, we have Loki, massive. Having me actually to consider between Zoe and Loki. This is absolutely massive. Luffy in this giant form looks small next to him, right? Looks like a normal giant, normal person next to him. And that is not normal scaling. This is mural tier scaling. And when you compare that, right? You compare that silhouette to the mural or to the Elbaf mural, it lines up to me. Oda isn't subtle here. This isn't random, right? This isn't a random spectacle. This is actual prophecy. Prophecy that is actually convergent. This is prophecy convergence. Now, let's be clear, right? Loki is not just big, giant, huge, colossal, and strong. This is an ancient, catastrophic energy. This is myth embodiment. If Loki mirrors the mural figure, I'm still trying to figure out the horns thing because it doesn't match up. If Loki mirrors the mural figure, then Elbaf's history, the Void Centuries narrative, and the final war are converging right now. And you know what's scary? You know what's scary? Loki is stable. He's not raging, right? He's not chaotic. He's composed. Disciplined power at that scale is insane. But that is final saga material from Oda. So, what are my takeaways from both chapters? See, One Piece chapter 1173 gave us Zoro's battlefield manipulation, right? We also got Brook's tragic connection, which is finally beginning to flourish and having us get to actually peek into what was actually going on before he passed. We got Imu's controlled cracks in Gonko, right? And 1174 also gave us the sadistic villain clarity that we actually see from Sommers. We also get the parental sacrifice as being the true strength and the prophecy being awakened, as well as Loki's impossible mythic scale, right, of his devil fruits. Cruelty versus love, right? Despair versus drums of liberation. Sadism versus sacrifice. And then thunder, snow, liberation. The board isn't just set. The board for the final saga is trembling. And Loki might not just be a piece, right? He might not just be a piece in this whole final saga battle. He might be the one that actually flips it. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Kindly like, comment, subscribe. We're still in the 100s. Let's start to get the subscription to 500. I would like us to get to 500 subs by April. I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna actually prove to you that I am worthy of those subscriptions. I appreciate you guys. Join the Discord. Let's keep the community growing. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys in 1175. I might actually stream that too, but hey, I'll let you guys know. Peace, love, and more elbow grease.